Hello. I don't know if anyone's even here yet. I kind of decided on the spur of the moment to go live today. I've kind of been under the weather this weekend, caught a bug from my middle child, and yeah, it's been kind of a bummer week, a bummer weekend. But anyway, thought it would be a good time to visit and catch up. I know that Olympics are on. Maybe a lot of people are watching that. But I thought I'd see if anyone is on and say hello. Come into the land of the living for a little while. Been in bed for most of the time this weekend, and that gets old. So I'd rather visit with you guys. I'm just looking outside here, and there's a beautiful sunset. It's been nice to see the sun the last few days, I guess. Sometimes it can get really dreary and foggy and kind of socked in here in the winter, and the whole January, February blues kind of thing. But we've actually kind of had a sunny, I guess sunny kind of winter, right? Like not even just recently. So that's kind of nice. Anyway, nobody's around yet, so I'll keep rambling to myself for those of you that watch this back on the replay. No sense in sitting here, right? What else can I tell you guys before anybody comes in? I don't want to be chatting and then tell all my stories. So what could I tell you guys that you could watch on the replay that doesn't matter if people hear live? Luna the puppy, she's doing really good. She's a little over 3 months old, and I posted a little video. We took her to the lake earlier this week, and it's kind of fun because she's learning how to be more appropriate now. So she knows commands a little bit, but not too much. So she's starting to learn how to, hey Annie, how's it going? I was just kind of rambling until somebody got in here. I think you're the first one to arrive. I kind of decided to do an impromptu live. I hadn't planned on it, but I've been sick, so I thought it might be nice to visit with people. I have the link if you want to come up with me. We can visit if you're interested. I was just talking so that people who join on the replay or whatever, I was just telling them about Luna, giving them the update about her and how she's going to start puppy training, and I think it's maybe even next week. Yeah, I think she starts puppy training next week. It must be, or is it even the week after? Time is getting away from me a little bit, but she's starting to be able to. Oh, you have to put your son to bed. Yeah, I get that. With our kids too, it's kind of hard to chat when you have kiddos, huh? So we took her to the lake. She really enjoyed that. She hadn't been around water, and we of course have a creek on our property that we hope that she'll like water, and we like to spend a lot of time down at the creek in the summer. So it's kind of important that she gets exposed to it. So she did pretty well. She didn't quite know what to think, and of course it's cold and the water's cold, but she did really well. She was a little bit curious, and there were some ducks there, and she knew how to leave them alone, which was good. Our chickens and ducks are in their run area still because they don't like to come out in the snow, and our snow up there is quite deep, and there's a lot of predators around, so I just keep them in their run in their coop area for the winter. And so she's been up there with us every time we do chicken chores and clean and refill the water and the food stuff. She's up there, but I'm still a little curious how she'll do when it's spring and summer and they're allowed to be out, so it was a good little dry run to have those ducks at the lake that she could have gotten to if she wanted to, and she didn't. She was curious about them, but she didn't really pay them too much attention. So I was kind of happy about that. Dogs and birds are always a little bit nerve-wracking how it's going to go. But I have a friend on Instagram who has a llama named Rupert, and he's so cute and he's hilarious. She posts these super funny reels and stories about him. Anyway, Daniel and I, yeah, dogs can play with ducks, yeah. Play being the operative word, right? Sometimes they play nice, sometimes not so nice. I've had ducks killed by rogue dogs around here. It's pretty sad. Yeah, so I have to teach her how to be around the birds. But anyway, back to the llama. So I think Daniel and I might get a llama for when the lambs come in May. We've been thinking about it. So if anybody has a llama, I know there's a few of you guys out there. I need all your advice. I need all your llama advice. I've no experience with llamas or lambs for that matter, but I think that I have a good handle on all the people. Poor Boy's Little Homestead, hello. Just a little Sunday visit. Hey, Sean and Jess, how are you guys? Little House Off the Gritty. I have the link if anyone wants to come up with me and visit. It's just like just chat and open panel, even if it's just for a second. Pop on, say hi. Link at the top of the chat there. You probably saw it. So if anyone wants to click on for just a couple minutes even, come on up. But yeah, if anybody has a llama and any advice, let me know, because I don't really know what to look for. I don't know what the proper, hey Remy, how's it going? Link at the top if you want to join, just chatting, just chatting and visiting tonight. So if you want to hit the link, what's going on with my hair? It's crazy. Hit the link and come up, even if it's just for a few minutes. You come say hi. Never owned either, can't help you. I need llama advice. Hey Mike, how are you and Terry doing tonight? Hope the weekend is going good. Jess won't let you have a llama. Why? Because she doesn't want it to spit at you. I've decided that I don't really want to go the livestock guardian dog route, because I understand that they bark a lot potentially. And although we're out from civilization, there are people on acreages in the region, and some of them, let's just say, it would not do well to have a barking dog all the time. Let's just say that. So I don't feel that an LGD is the way to go for us. Oh, she definitely wants it to spit on you. There you go. There you go. Well, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Game on. I'm a little bit nervous about a llama spitting, I guess, but I don't know that it would bother me. I think it would be kind of funny. But yeah, gonna kind of steer clear from the LGD route and maybe try the llama route. So we'll see how that goes. I'm told that they actually don't eat that much hay. Like they just kind of eat with the sheep, and I don't know. So we'll see. No worse than having roosters. Isn't that the truth? Hi, Joni. How are you? Joni's been getting pummeled with the weather on the other coast of our great nation. There she is. There's Terry. Hi, Terry. I was saying hi to you and Mike. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, Joni has been getting pummeled with snow and ice, and they've been shoveling out. And I don't know if you guys have been seeing their videos over at Creekside Maples, but a lot of weather going on the East Coast right now. We haven't had any bad weather for a couple of weeks now. We've been really, really lucky, so I can't complain. But yeah, stay warm, Joni. I sure been thinking about you guys. Well, how was everyone's week? I was just kind of saying nobody had joined onto the live yet, but we kind of had sickness going through our house this weekend in the form of me and my middle son. So I haven't had too much in the way of social interaction outside my bed. So thought it would be fun to come on here and chat. Yeah, you guys haven't gotten anything either, Annie. So you guys have just kind of been steering a little bit clear of it too. I guess you're just west enough, right? It seems to have been hitting the Maritimes pretty bad, but maybe not quite where you guys are either. Annie had a live, Annie, you've had a couple lives where you've been talking about all your seeds and prepping and things that you're looking forward to. I had started, you guys are gonna laugh, I don't know if you remember this. I don't even know if I posted it last year, but on January 17 last year, I started my first tomato seedlings inside. Isn't that good for a laugh? And I knew that it was mighty early, don't get me wrong. I knew full well, but I was so depressed and down, and I was having a hard time last winter, to be honest. And I thought, you know, heck with it. I'm going to start tomato seedlings. And so I did. And they were huge by the time like even March or April came around. And here, yeah, the urge to grow is strong. I know, isn't that insane? And I knew better too. That's the funny thing is I knew better. But anyway, they were so big. And how we do our tomatoes is we have them in pots on the deck because we have inclement weather enough throughout the summer that I frequently have to bring them in to the garage or cover them or whatever the case may be. But they definitely can't stick out, you know, they can't stay out in the garden. I'm going to try this year to do a raised garden bed with a with piping over that I can make like a covered greenhouse that I can pull plastic on and off like a little curtain. I'm going to try to make a little fancy, well not fancy, but that can be covered and uncovered for my tomatoes this year. That's going to be a new thing to the farm this year that I'm really excited. I think that I'm going to try, if anybody has any designs, I'd be interested to see what works. I know that Lisa at yeah, High Tunnel, I know you're like the queen of High Tunnel. I know, I need to talk to you. This would be like a mini tomato High Tunnel. Sean and Jess, you guys are starting your seeds indoors, building a seed room, a whole seed room. I'm jealous. That sounds awesome. Yeah, Annie, I'm gonna have to talk to you actually. Maybe oh, Marshall, you're not late, really. I'm just getting started, just visiting, chatting. Nothing on the agenda tonight, just catching up with everybody. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while. I was just telling everybody how last year I was planting tomatoes and this in January, the seedlings, and they were so big. So even though they were in the greenhouse, they were just getting so big and just kind of unruly. And then I have to get them to the point in kind of May, June where I can like haul them up to the deck. And by that time they're so big and heavy. So I've not planted any seeds yet. You guys will be very proud of me. But I think I'll probably start here. My goal is maybe the 20th of February that I'll start planting my tomatoes and my hot peppers and stuff like that, because that should be a good time that I can get everything started and then move it into the greenhouse and then move it out. But yeah, if you guys, hey Jamie, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. You guys have been busy too. Guys, check out Mad Acre Farms. They had a fun, you guys, Jamie, you guys had a fun live the other day. I guess it's a few days ago now. Always fun. Joni, we saved seed from last year, starting soon indoors. What all did you save last year? What all are you going to do this year? I think I have discovered that I get a little overzealous in my seed planting. And so I end up giving away, or yeah, I gave away a lot of seedlings last year. My last frost is May 12, and I sow tomatoes around the end of March or April. Yeah, if you can get your tomatoes out kind of in April or May, then you're, or like April, then you're golden. Yeah. Seed room, high tunnels. I'm not living right, I guess. I know. These are fantastic ideas, aren't they? Hey Dell, thanks. Yeah, I've been in the hot tub like every 2 hours. I can't stay warm. I'm actually feeling a little bit better now, but I'm like hopped up on Tylenol and ibuprofen pretty heartily. Um, it's kind of rough in between the hours of like 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. and then I seem to have a little window and then I turn rough again around 7 or 8 p.m. So, anyway, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Um, yeah. So I think I'm gonna plant way less tomatoes this year, way less peppers. We did overwinter a pepper plant downstairs, but I really want to build this tomato. I don't want to call it a high tunnel because it's not a high tunnel, but a little covered. Anyway, what I was saying is I know that Lisa over at Yogi Hollow um, did a little thing like this, I think, with like bent PVC pipe or something like that, where she has a raised garden bed and has plastic covering and she rolls it up like a curtain in the day and brings it down at night. That's exactly what I want. So if any of you have that too, let me know. If you have a video on it, on how you made it or something, let me know because I'm all ears for ideas. Joni saved tomatoes, peppers, squash, pumpkin, can't recall. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I tried to do pumpkin last year. I don't know, maybe my Canadian representatives here on chat can give me your feedback. My pumpkins didn't grow. I had big, beautiful leaves and no fruit. Everything was fertilized well. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Any ideas? Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I'll feel better soon. I'm already starting to feel a little bit better today than yesterday and Friday, but yeah, thank you. You guys are trying tomatoes in a Dutch bucket system. What is a Dutch bucket system? Indoors. Our peppers are doing well in that system, but the tomatoes not so much. Ooh, do you have a video on this? Did I miss this somehow? Cause I don't know. Maybe you do have a video on this. Anyway, tell me more about this. Remind me. I gotta go watch. I'm so behind on videos too. Thanks, Annette. Yeah, yeah. I can't complain. You know, it's like one of those winter illnesses, I guess. I don't know. It'll be okay. Stuff going around the school and stuff. You know, kids bringing stuff home. Ryan says hi, Mike. Everyone's saying hi. As long as they're covered with the greenhouse effect and a fan or air circulation. Okay. I can do that. Same. We had one grow and the rest got some sort of disease. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm kind of glad that I'm not the only one. Isn't that bad? But that stinks. Maybe we're just not pumpkin growers, you know? We haven't done one yet. Okay, it was somebody else because I saw maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago already. Somebody was talking about a bucket system for their peppers and tomatoes, but I don't know what is the Dutch system or whatever. I'm curious because I think they were just growing theirs indoors in buckets. I can't remember, but oh, thank you. What a cute dog, Luna. She's such a good girl, you guys. She's a really good listener for a puppy, like really good listener. I know that border collies are super smart. I've never had a border collie before, so this is my first experience with them. I could not be more impressed. I know that a lot of you have had, you know, border collies growing up or currently, but we haven't, and what a treat, you know. Frugal Farmer Channel's here. Hello. Welcome. Take care, Annie. Thanks for coming on for a little bit. It was good to see you. Hope you have a good week. Saying goodbye to everyone. On my garden beds, I use cow panels and cut them strips to bend over the bed. Okay, that's the cheapest and best way I found. You can see them on some of my latest gardening videos. Right on. Okay, I'm gonna check those out. Probably later tonight. I want to see what you did. That's very good. Really smart dogs. Borders are amazing dogs. Good herding dogs. Oh, I didn't see that Remy said goodbye. Did Remy say goodbye? Oh, he's saying goodbye to Annie. I gotcha. It's pH balanced 5-gallon bucket of water system that has an aerator. Oh, cool. And we were using a plastic neck cup with rock wool and clay pellets. I think Lisa. Really? Lisa has a Dutch bucket video? How did I miss that? Me and Lisa, like, I got an in line to Lisa. Clearly I missed that. Okay, cool. Very interesting. Very interesting. And he's saying goodbye to everyone. Super cool. Yeah, we have like 3 topics on the go now, don't we? Back to, I'm just scrolling on the comments here, to the raised garden beds, cow panels. We did that for, I'll be able to do that pretty easily, I think. We did that for our cucumbers and stuff to climb. I have a cattle panel between one hugelkultur bed to the other for the cucumbers to grow up. Pardon me, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. So I could definitely do that. And then, actually, yeah, you're right. And then that would be super easy to roll plastic over, wouldn't it? Okay. Thank you for the ideas. This is awesome. So one of the things that I was kind of curious to hear from everybody is what big plans you have going for the spring and for thank you, Terry, bless me, for your places. I know we're all kind of getting antsy now that it's February to start on all our projects, and some of us are still under feet and feet of snow, so it makes it hard to do anything yet. So I'm just still in the vision dreaming stage. But for those of you in warmer climates, or even not, what are you guys, what's going to be on the docket for you in the next couple of months? So for us, really, we won't be doing anything until mid-March is usually when our snow has gone enough that we can do anything. There's Tony. Hello, Erin. How are you? Hopefully you're feeling better. Yeah, I was telling everybody I'm kind of still, I think I'm coming out of it, but it was a little bit of a rough weekend, but I hope to be faring better. It was still a little bit of a ugly morning and early afternoon, but I don't feel too bad now. But I have quite a lot of medication in me in the form of Tylenol and ibuprofen. So, but thank you, Tony. Let's see. Just Jamie says, just watch an excellent video on vertical tomato growing. That was awesome. We're gonna give it a go. Oh, cool. Okay. I also saw something about that. I even wonder if it was the same one. Yeah. There's so much information about tomatoes and different methods, isn't there? I don't have anything special, but I sure get a ton of tomatoes, and especially for our cold mountain climate, everybody around here, we have like a mountain community up here. It's very spread out, obviously. We all live out in the Tules, but I'm the only one that can seem to grow really good, consistent tomatoes that's not in a greenhouse all the time. So I'm going to stick with what I have going. But I'm always really interested to learn about different methods and see what people are doing, because I've readjusted a lot of things. I am not a gardener at all. I am just learning. And I have so much more to learn because I do not have a green thumb at all. And finally, last year or the year before was like my first successful time at growing anything. But the one thing I can grow up here is tomatoes, which is a miracle. So Sean and Jess are setting up our garden using the square foot gardening method. Okay. Yes, excellent method. I'm excited to see you guys have, I saw where you guys were going to put your garden or whatever when you guys were doing the video. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do. Terry says, I've got to get Mike out to put up my greenhouse. It's been sitting in the box on the patio forever. Yes. Come on, Mike. Chop, chop. Spring's coming. You're gonna love having a greenhouse. I don't know if you've had a greenhouse before in the past, and this is another one for you, but oh, Terry, you're gonna love having a greenhouse. The only regret I have is not having a bigger greenhouse, or one that I could have a little bit more year round, but we have to heat ours, so that would be another opportunity for growth to find a way to, in our cold climate, have a little bit more of a like a self-running greenhouse with passive heat and different things. Yeah, definitely get your greenhouse going. That'll be good. Tony says we're about to start our sugar maple shack extension and then the maple syrup starts soon. Yes. 'Tis the season, huh? Oh, it's always so nice to have maple syrup season. I wish we had maples up here. I would love to do that and learn. So I will be watching your journey closely. I always enjoy this time of year. Remy's saying hi. He'll probably tell me that he needs a tractor to do it though. Oh yes. Oh yes. Always need a good tractor for everything. I'll bet he'll do it for you now, Terry. Yeah, he's been called out publicly now, huh? Haven't you, Mike? Tony, we grow a pile of tomatoes. We can a lot and make a lot of sauce. Yep. Yeah. It's so good to have your own sauce and salsa and stuff. I'm surprised that Mike hasn't put that together yet. I mean, he might need a tractor to put it together, if that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. That's great. Thank you, Remy, for reminding everyone. I appreciate that. Terry, tell Mike if he doesn't get that greenhouse set up, you're going to start all the seeds on his side of the bed. That's right. Talking about seed room, it's just going to be Mike's side of the bed. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. You wanted to sleep? Oh, no, the seeds are there. Just don't disturb them. The seeds are growing on your side of the bed. You and me both, Aaron. I know, right, Jamie? Oh, man. Josh has great videos on trellis use and growing tomatoes and cucumbers. Okay. Yeah, I haven't grown tomatoes that way, but that's kind of how I grow my cucumbers. Really happy with it. Got a ton of cucumbers last year because everything is up and aerated and gets sun and beautiful cucumbers. I'll have to check those videos out. Such good info, you guys. I love hearing all the feedback. We grow a lot of green and yellow beans. I have the funniest children. My oldest loves green beans, like more than candy. Loves green beans. Which I'm not complaining, but what a funny thing to like for a kid. I don't know, maybe not, but so I also have to grow a lot of green beans. I'd like to do more this year because I'd like to freeze them, but we never make it that far because we eat them all. So we need to do better. Tomatoes also grow great for Marshall. Okay, and peppers. Yeah. Yeah, interesting because a lot of people don't have success with tomatoes up this high and with the short climate, but it's all in kind of, I think, when you start and having the greenhouse helps and then having the ability to shield them from weather because we'll get hail, in June or July every single year without fail. We have rogue frosts in August that are quite common. Snow in June last year. We had the first week of June, we had a little snow. So yeah, it's kind of hard if you don't know what you're doing, but if you do, you can be successful. We have a greenhouse. No, our house is green. Well, then you still have a greenhouse by hook or by crook. Thanks, Sean and Jess. Have a good night. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I'll be good here in a couple days. Thanks for the well wishes. Hope you guys have a good sleep, a good week ahead. They got to get up early. Annette wants maple trees. I know, ain't no maple trees in Alberta, my friend, huh? Out of luck. Yeah, Tony and Joni have hundreds of maple trees. Try rattlesnake green beans. What are rattlesnake green beans? I've never even heard of that kind. Do tell us. Bomber Steve, hello from Australia. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. It's got to be super hot there, eh? Right now? Man, I'd just give something for that heat. Tired of being cold. I like to make Lady Ashburn pickles with our cukes. What are Lady Ashburn pickles? Those sound fascinating. Is it a certain way you spice them, or what? Do tell. Do tell. I also make pickles with our cukes. I make all our pickles from our own cucumbers here in the garden, but I've never known such a fancy name. What is your altitude, Aaron? We're not that high actually, so we're like 1,000 meters. I don't know. But just the way we are in the mountains and the way we are in relation to the valley or whatever, yeah, it's we get our first frost in certain years end of August, most years early to mid-September. We're zone 3B. And then we get our last frost usually is the first week of June. If you're lucky and having a good year, it'll be the last week of May, but oftentimes first week of June. So yeah. Yeah, Marshall has to cover up with plastic to June. Yeah. We don't plant in the ground until after the first moon in June. Yep. Yep. Canadian problems. All right, Joni, I'm still waiting for you to tell me about this Lady Ashburn pickles. Curious. Oh, here we go. Lady Ashburn consists of a sweet mustard syrup with celery seed. Okay. Okay, cool. You might have to DM me your recipe on Instagram if you'd be so kind. I would love to try to make some of those. Very cool. So I want to tell you guys about a fun possibility that I can't really give too much detail about because nothing has been decided at all. I want to make that very clear. But we were approached to potentially be involved with having some people. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything actually. Ooh, I don't want to get myself in trouble. I better not say anything. We may have an exciting opportunity coming this year for the farm in which you may be seeing more of us on a bigger stage. Let's just put it that way. I'm sure that we'll probably find out in the next month what that looks like. So it may be that you'll be seeing an in-depth look at Bramble Hill Homestead. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything because I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not say, but anyway. Bomber Steve, it's a nice 81 Fahrenheit, heading for 84. Nice cool day for summer here in the garden making shade cloth frames for our raised beds. Oh, you guys, doesn't that sound delightful? 84 degrees for those of us that are like poor Tony and Joni have been getting pummeled with snow and ice. Doesn't 84 sound so delightful, you guys? We're all coming to see you in Australia. We'll be at your house in 2 days. We're coming. It's very simple to make. Awesome. I can't wait to make those pickles. Annette, I have had a lot of luck using fabric cloth to keep my plants warm versus plastic. Okay. I've never used fabric cloth for anything other than like weeds. So you guys may have to educate my non-gardening self. Rattlesnake green beans is just a variety, but they're good. And you can grow them on a trellis. I make my trellis out of cow panels. Cool. I've never seen that variety here. I suppose you could probably order seeds online or something like that. I'm always looking to find new varieties. Delicious, my type of pickles. Yeah, I want to see that. We can keep secrets in here. We'll be watching for this exciting chapter. Jamie, have a good night, everyone. Love the chat. Feel better. Keep my fingers crossed. Thanks, Jamie. Have a good night. It was good to chat with you a little bit. It's the white cloth, not the black cloth. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely don't have any experience with that. So any info you have, I'll be looking eagerly to watch. I know that everyone's going to be posting such fun videos here coming this spring, and I'm really looking to learn a lot. I didn't garden at all when we lived in North Carolina. We lived in an area that was pretty much all shade, and so it really wasn't conducive to gardening at all. We were in deep, deep shade. And so everything I'm learning is on the spot here. And I have a lot to learn. So I'm excited. Bomber Steve, you're all welcome. Barbecue will be in, some snags, a steak, cold beer in the fridge. Okay, I got to ask, what's a snag? I'm not familiar with that Aussie term. Hot dog? I'm guessing? Snags are sausages. Okay, that makes sense. Snags and steak. That's catchy. Let me put the link up here for you guys again if anybody wants to come up with me, so that I'm not the only one talking. Or if you're okay with listening to me talk, then I'll keep talking. I'm just gonna get the link here. And if you wanna join my rambling, it's like rambling with the Brums, except rambling with Aaron tonight. I'm a one-man show. It's kind of hard to be a one-man show, you know? There's the link if anyone wants to come up with me. I'd be happy to have ya. Joni says, Aaron, do you watch Little Mountain Homestead? She's in BC and has excellent gardening knowledge. No, I'm not familiar with that channel. I will, it's a YouTube channel, Little Mountain Homestead. Let me see. I'm following so many people that I've gotten to the point where I actually probably need to pare down. Let me see if I'm following. Because I'm finding that I can't Little Mountain Homestead. I can't keep track of everybody's videos. And there's so much good footage and I'm learning so much, but I just can't. No. Oh, is it Little Mountain Ranch? I'm looking off to the side because of my computer. She's not far from me? Oh. I definitely have to check her out. Let's see here. $150 house. She has a lot of subscribers, 44,000. Her name is Chelsea. I really like her smart, down-to-earth Yes Ranch. All right. Yeah, I see her. My name is Chelsea. Okay. Well, I'm hitting the subscribe button. Oh, yay, someone wants to come on with me. Oh, we have another Australian friend with us.
Yeah, it's Bomber Steve under our Sweeney's Creek channel. So.
Oh, I see that now. I'm like, Who is this? And then it's so I'm ready for some snags and some steaks.
Yeah, nothing better than a good snag on the barbie, mate. That's great.
You have a couple. Are you watching us on both channels then?
No, I'm just out in the garden doing some, as I said, building some frames over our garden beds. Julianne's inside; she's working from home at the moment, so she's flat out with work.
Gotcha.
She might pop in. You might see Sweeney's Creek drop it. She sometimes checks to see if I jump on a live when I'm supposed to be out here working.
Gotcha. I didn't know if you were logged in on both both channels or who it was going to be when I
Yeah.
saw you in the, because it just sees the name and then I saw you. So
I,
tell
I
us what
usually
you're doing with your beds then today.
I usually go on my phone under Bomber Steve, and then if I'm on the computer, I go under Sweeney's Creek Farm and sort of share both channels.
Gotcha, gotcha.
What I'm doing, I'll show you what we Julianne had this design, this magnificent idea. We acquired a whole heap of free trampolines, and we've actually just uploaded a video on our Sweeney's Creek Farm channel about what we did with them. We'll just swap
Okay.
the camera around, and I'm using the leftovers. So um, we got some trampoline frames, and so
Look
each
at
of these
that.
hoops is half a frame. So you can see it's an old trampoline, and
That's
then
incredible.
down here is the legs that those legs used to go into those sockets. So I had to just
Yeah.
modify them a little bit. So
Okay.
that just gets you a little bit of vertical height, and then the hoop. And now we've just secured the side up with those cross beams over there are actually the bars that used to hold the netting up over around the trampoline.
Okay.
And then we just bought some wood to run along there and the bottom, and then shade cloth. So the only thing we've actually purchased here is the a bit of wood strapping and the shade cloth. And
What a
then
great idea. That looks perfect.
we've set up four rows of garden bed. So there's 200 feet of garden bed in here. So we've got some
Perfect.
late season tomatoes and capsicums and habaneros and cayenne in there at the
Okay.
moment. And then Julianne's done a closed loop dripper system. So each of these beds is on a individual tap. So
Okay.
you can water 1, 2, 3, or 4 beds at your discretion. And and then this was the other one we built. So this was with some smaller trampolines. And this is our current tomato crop. And things are just starting to ripen up here. So
Look at that.
yeah. And this is the only way you can garden in our conditions here, because this is the ground and the conditions we're dealing with at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as dry as chips. We've had just over an inch of rain in the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this is our fruit orchard, and you can see the trees are doing well because we've got a dripper system on them. But
Mm-hmm.
the rest of it's as dry as chips.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been doing today is, of course, we had all these leftovers. So these were the feet that used to go underneath the trampoline. And I was looking at them and I thought, you know what, they kind of look like a crossbeam. So what I've done is I've done this.
Okay.
So this one's a little rough, but crossbeam, and then I've cut pieces out to make them bolt in there. And then the idea is that the shade cloth we've got over here, we're going to cut pieces to go on here at the moment. This is the old netting from the trampoline. So we're just
That's
using it at
so
the moment.
crazy.
So this is basically what's going there. So we've got a couple of beetroot still in there, just finishing off.
Yeah.
And so I'm just making a piece to run across there just to support it, and then the shade cloth will come up and over, and that'll protect each bed like a mini
That's
greenhouse. And
perfect. That's perfect.
and it's a little rough in places, but it does the job. And we're very excited about this one.
Oh, look at that one.
That's the first ever aubergine or eggplant that we've ever grown.
Looks
And,
pretty good.
yeah. And this one up here is when I've finished here, I'm going to be loading up some dirt into this one. So we line it with cardboard on the bottom to suppress the weeds,
Mm-hmm.
and then load it up with dirt. So we're going to grow some corn in this one, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we've got big raised beds and then some lower down ones. So anything that needs a bit of depth goes in those ones, and anything that doesn't can go in these smaller ones here. Actually, I think if we change our mind, I think she's going to plant potatoes in there. But anyway, yeah. But
yeah, you need it a little deeper for the potato. You have a comment in the chat. It said, from Poor Boy's Little Homestead, I used mine to build rabbit cages. Then I thought I could have built a greenhouse with them. So
Yep.
I would have never thought trampolines, but how perfect is that? I didn't know
Yeah.
that you had done that with your other one too. That's really cool.
Yeah. So these frames were 14-foot trampolines, and I think
Mm-hmm.
the smaller one were 12-foot trampolines. And
Okay.
all we did, we went onto Facebook and put a post on in Marketplace, wanted free trampolines, and people were saying, yeah, I've got an old one here, come and all you had to do was come and collect it. I think one of them I had to dismantle, but most of them were already dismantled. They were going to throw them into the scrap anyway. So yeah, we
Perfect.
didn't pay for any of them. Yeah.
And is the shade cloth enough in your environment to do
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
job, or do you find that you still get scald on a lot of your stuff, or?
No, look, it's doing pretty good. So we got a fairly UV resistant shade cloth, so it throws. You step inside there and you can instantly feel the difference in the heat. So yeah, so far it's done well. This shade cloth will eventually come off, and we've got some plastic coming. It's on the boat somewhere. So we're going to encase these in plastic and turn it into a full greenhouse for the winter. And
Mm-hmm.
then as we hit the hot temperature next season, then we'll put the shade cloth back over the top to give it a bit of protection during the summer months. But they're basically going to convert into actual plastic greenhouses. And our
Mm-hmm.
plan is there's another one. We're going to build another, get a few more trampolines and build another one in here. And that'll give us a fair bit
Perfect.
of growth space. Yeah.
What a
And then
great setup.
the fence around the orchard is going to extend. So we're bringing the you can see I've got a little green bottle out there. So the fence is going to go out there. So this whole area is going to be encased in the fence as well, which keeps the kangaroos off and the rabbits,
Yeah.
which are a bit of a pest as far as coming in and eating your stuff.
Yeah,
But
I know that watching Daz, good night, Joni, has had several unwanted visitors. So that would be quite important for your area then, huh?
yeah. Look, I don't mind the kangaroos coming onto my property. They come on, they nibble on the grass. That's fine. I love our kangaroos. I'm happy to support them. I just don't want them coming in and uh, feeding on my plants and that. And the
Yeah.
rabbits are really bad because they'll come in and ring bark the fruit trees, and then they die. So, and
Mm-hmm.
the rabbits are feral, and yeah, I hate
Mm.
rabbits. I love eating them, but yeah, they're a pain.
But not.
So, yeah, look,
Hi,
I
Heather. How's it going?
thought I'd give you a view of the lovely 80 odd degrees Fahrenheit Australian summer and see if it
Oh,
warms you
that
up a little
just
bit.
looks so nice. Oh,
So
I love it. So
you
you
enjoy it.
said that you're putting in your winter garden now, so you would have probably what, like another three, what would it be of good growing season left for you? Three
Oh,
months?
yeah, look, what are we into February now? So yeah, we'll get another 3, maybe 4 months of growth.
Yeah.
Our autumn, which starts in March, is still fairly warm, and you still get a bit of growth in that time. So, um, you know, here our grow season goes through for a good 8 9 months of the year. Getting onto 10, depending what you want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But it all comes down to water.
Mm-hmm.
Water's always the limiting factor. We only get 20 to 24 inches a year in this location.
Mm.
So water is always a pain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Yeah,
oh
we rarely get rain in the summer here, but it's not for months and months. It usually, maybe 2 3 months, but and then we have the forest fires. But to
yeah,
go that long with or that little for the whole year is quite amazing.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we can put a bore in and get bore water, but it's quite brackish here. So then we'd have to get a desal plant to take a bit of the salinity out to make it usable for irrigation. But it's something we're
Mm.
looking at in the future. This is one of our new toys. This is one of the best things we've ever bought. Anyone's got a homestead and's got a tractor, if you haven't got a box grader, go out and buy one. They are amazing. I just graded my driveway, and I've got a section up the back where I'm going to be putting in a new cattle crush. So I was able to strip away all the dirt and get that set up. And it actually makes me look talented as far as being able to landscape things.
Oh, we need those. We need one of those so bad. I need something to
Yeah,
scrape the cow manure in the spring
yeah,
after the winter, after it's all
yeah.
built up, all gross.
And these have got cutting tines, so you can drop these down to actually get these down into the ground, and they'll rip the ground ahead of it, and then it'll grade behind,
Oh,
and then it's got a reverse blade at the back, so you can actually put it into reverse and turn it into a bulldozer. And oh, it's just
perfect.
it's just incredible what you can do. Oh, down the other side, just down there, you might be able to see a strip. That's where I actually graded our new driveway, and I'll take you down there.
Yeah, you can kind of see where it is, but you can't see too.
Yeah.
So, and was that would have been quite a pricey purchase, no? Or not too bad?
I think it was about $1,000. So
Oh, that's
best
not
thousand
bad,
dollars.
really.
Yeah,
I mean, for
yeah.
everything you would use it for.
Well, there's a lot. We were going to get someone to come in and do a lot of this work, and he quoted the earthworks at 12 grand. So I've probably already done $2,000 or $3,000 worth of work just on this driveway. He was
Oh,
going to do the driveway.
I'm sure you'll just love it, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Julianne calls it my new toy. Hard to get off it now.
Oh, I'm sure. I would
So
love it. I'm sure.
that's it
Look
there.
at that.
And I tried to do it with my tractor in a bucket when it was a bit wetter and I was getting bogged and it was awful. Couple of days on that, and I was able to just grade that and made the driveway. So the driveway will eventually go and it kinks into the garage, and then there'll be a circular piece here in front of the house where you'll be able to turn around.
Perfect.
And eventually we're going out there. So this old dead tree's got to go. We've got to get a permit in to get a new driveway over the gutter out to the road. But this just gives you an idea of what occurs underneath a gum tree. Gum trees are great. They just drop stuff all year round. But that's
something I am
important.
not familiar with at all, a gum tree.
Yeah, eucalyptus tree. So you have them in California and a few places in America. But we've got quite a number, I think about over 100 species of gum here in Australia. And there's about 4 or 5 different species just in this section here. So,
huh? Yeah, we do not have any of that up here.
I wish I could do smell-o-vision. I'd grab a gum leaf and break it open so you can smell the eucalyptus oil. It's just a beautiful smell.
And the kangaroos eat eucalyptus, no?
No, the koalas do.
Oh, koalas.
Yeah,
Koalas.
yeah.
That's right. Yes, of course. Yes.
That's part of the reason why koalas are actually quite dopey and very sleepy, because the eucalyptus oil is a toxin, and they've got a metabolism that can actually deal with that poison, but it makes them quite lethargic and slow.
Maybe that's my problem this weekend. I've had too much eucalyptus.
Yeah, I think a koala sleeps 20 to 22 hours a day. They just prop up in the tree and sleep, and then they wake up and eat a few gum leaves and look after the little baby koala, and then they go back to sleep. It's a great life.
So what is there? We were hearing stories after the forest fires and stuff about how there was such an impact to their population. What's the update on that?
Yeah, look, we lost some hideous number of native animals in those big fires a while back. Very hard to get an accurate figure, but somewhere in the vicinity of 1.5 billion. When you consider all the birds and lizards and snakes and reptiles and kangaroos and koalas and wallabies and everything else. We haven't had a major bushfire in that area since, so it's sort of recovering. It's a tricky one because the Australian bush is actually used to bushfire. The Australian bush regenerates through bushfire, has for millions of years, and First Nations people, the Aboriginal people, understood that, and they would burn sections of the forest, but they do it in a slow burn. We're still trying to get our head around and learn from them properly. But yeah, things are recovering. The forests are regrowing. The loss of animals is difficult, but if it wasn't for the impact of land clearing and removal of habitat, then they'd be recovering a lot better. But yeah, it is what it is. This is our little mob of Murray grey cows. They're picking over some hay that I threw out. And yeah, this is our back. This is our back 15 acres. So we've got 5 acres at the front, 15 at the back. Cows get these 15 at the moment. And, this stuff here, cow manure, absolute gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, they've got their watering system down there. They go over, they've always got water in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you have such a great setup.
We're getting there. We've only been here since last May, so we've still got a lot of work to do. But yeah, it's just a matter of just all time. And I don't know if you can. I'm just underneath the tank there. There's our little flock of chickens. They love this
Oh,
spot.
yes.
Yeah.
They're catching some shade.
Sitting in the shade. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of Australian animals do during the summertime. You don't see the kangaroos out and the snakes and the lizards and all that. It's too hot for them. So
yeah.
You see them active in the mornings and late afternoons and evenings. The Australian snakes is one very important to me. I actually do venomous snake relocation. So I'm very, very familiar with their behaviour and what they do. And yeah, I love our snakes. They're fantastic.
Which is not a opinion held by many.
No, look, and part of what I do on my Bomber Steve channel and what I do as a relocator is just trying to educate people about the importance of snakes and lizards and all reptiles and indeed all animals to the ecosystem, and why they have to be conserved and protected. And yeah, we don't want them in people's backyards and we don't want them interacting with people's pets. So that's why me and a couple of friends, we're available to head out to people's backyards and grab them by the grabby bits and stay away from the bitey bits and put them in a bag and get them back out in the bush.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's so nice that, I mean, you have the knowledge to do that, because if you don't have to, off something.
No.
It's way better to have it put back into its environment, right?
Exactly right. And this is a little bit of a soapbox for me, and it's something I think the whole homesteading movement has a lot of area for growth and understanding, that every time we take an animal out of our area, for whatever reason, be it an eastern brown snake or a goanna lizard or a coyote or a mountain lion or a grizzly bear or whatever the animal is that's causing an issue, if our solution to that is just to kill it, then we're taking that particular component out of the local ecosystem. And Mother Nature doesn't have things there just for no reason. Mm-hmm. Humans do things for no reason, but Mother Nature doesn't. Now, those animals are there for a reason. They've got a purpose to serve. And so, I would like to see homesteading and farming in general, and in fact, our entire society, really understand that we need to do our best to integrate into the natural ecosystem and minimize our impact. And killing things and removing things. And you've only got to look at some of the Northern American states where they've eradicated the wolf population, and now the problems they're having with an overpopulation of deer. Well, that's the flow-on effect. You took the apex predator out of the ecosystem. That's the flow-on effect. And
here's a funny story. This was in our news just recently. There's a city not far from us, or a town, not a city, that is doing a wolf cull.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a town not far from them that are doing urban deer cull.
Yep.
And you read and hear about this and you're like, how does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And then they have these, like, the big thing here is that the caribou in certain regions of British Columbia are endangered, and so they have these, they call them maternity pens, where they're trying to rehabilitate the caribou population, and all these things have gotten out of sync somehow, and it's not necessarily by Mother Nature, as you're saying.
Yeah. And we're doing the same thing in the oceans. Countries all around the world, with our overfishing of the oceans, and there's 100 to 150 million sharks killed every year. They're the garbage collectors and the filter machine for the ocean. And we're taking them out of the equation, and then wondering why our fish populations are dropping. Well, everything's connected. You can't take something out and not have a flow-on effect. And
Mm-hmm.
that's my philosophy, and that's part of what I try to educate people about. In regard to our local ecosystem here. So,
Mm-hmm.
is there an easy solution? No, there isn't. If you've got predatory animals that are coming in, like for example, we've got feral foxes here. The feral foxes run havoc with farmers with their sheep, and we've got chickens here, and we're always at risk of losing our entire chicken flock from a fox. So, um, you know, what that means is, if you want to have chickens here, you've got to put in the extra effort to, as much as possible, fox-proof your yard. You can't just put them in there and say, "Oh, well, she'll be right, mate," because she won't be.
Right.
Um, yeah. Um, and Australia's got a long record of a very sad record of animal extinction from what we've done in the past, based on ignorance and misunderstanding and sort of European views of how things should be done over here,
Mm-hmm.
and we've paid the price. And the prime example is the the Tasmanian tiger. So the Tasmanian tiger is extinct now in Tasmania, and it was basically hunted to extinction because, it's a carnivorous animal that's going to be predating on our sheep. Well, as it turned out, it wasn't. That was just a dirty, great big lie to
Mm.
then, allow people to hunt them, and they hunted to the point where we've now lost them. They're gone, and we still haven't learnt the lesson over here. We're still doing the same thing with our platypus. We're destroying wetlands and changing water courses and that. And the platypus, one of the iconic Australian animals in my state here, Victoria, is now
Yeah.
endangered. Um,
Hi, Ricky.
so I just wish humanity would learn some lessons.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just me on my soapbox.
No, it's interesting though, because we're having that a lot here, with you mentioned the indigenous knowledge and stuff with the forest, like
Mm.
reforestation and stuff in Australia. And people are now starting to collaborate with that population in regards to stuff that's going on here for our forest fires and our a lot of things for like pipeline and oil and
Yeah,
and natural gas and stuff is big here, and especially like in northern British Columbia and Alberta. And people are just used to doing all this stuff and kind of bombarding their way through, and now they're not getting away with that anymore. You have to have
that's right. Mm.
collaboration with all the parties involved in the land. And there's some people that are now figuring out that there's a lot of knowledge that these people have that is so valuable, and we need to listen because they know.
Yeah,
Like our
yeah,
the way that it has been done for years and years here by the colonial folk is not necessarily the right way, right? And
oh,
but there's been um so much aversion to that for so many years because just egos and control. And now we're
yeah.
finally starting to
Well,
hopefully
yeah.
change that a bit.
Over here in
Hi,
Australia, I mean,
Remy.
our First Nations people basically immigrated here, 100,000 years ago. So it's one of the oldest cultures in the world, and they lived integrated with the environment here for 100,000 years. And yeah, look, they had an impact like all humans do. There were some changes in the flora and fauna because of their impact, but very subtle and very gentle. But yeah, they basically lived in harmony with Mother Nature. The Aboriginal people regard the bush and the land here as their mother,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very much tied into their philosophy. It's why I actually associate more with it. Um, Now, we've had European settlement here for 250 years, and that is where 99% of the damage and the extinctions have happened in the last 250 years compared to 100,000 years. So who did it right? You know,
Exactly.
and that's not to say we all want to go and turn off the electricity and live in bark huts out in the bush. I mean we've got to be tap into reality of we have a modern society now, but we should have. I just wish we had have talked to the native people and learnt from them, and listen to their knowledge rather than just
Yeah.
what we did, which was basically declare them as ignorant savages, and we basically took over the land and displaced them and didn't listen to them. So
Right.
things are slowly
Yeah, to be
changing, and
responsible
yeah,
stewards, right, of the land, right?
exactly, yeah, and
Well, it's interesting
that.
because how many of us now are trying to go back to the land, right? I mean,
Yeah,
how many YouTube channels are there of people trying to simplify things, you know? So
yep,
there's got to be something to be said for,
yeah.
people are realizing that this go 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 modern lifestyle isn't necessarily the be all end all.
Oh, exactly right, and it's also about understanding the local ecosystem and environment. Now, here, the first thing the European settlers did when, my property is a prime example, first thing they did was they cleared all the trees away. And
Mm,
okay, if you have natural savanna and natural grasslands like you have in America, that's different. That's the natural ecosystem. That's what it's how it's developed. And you had the American buffalo, in herds grazing, coming through and fertilizing that soil, and the plains would then be regenerated each year. Yeah, that's how it evolved. Here in Australia, we had eucalyptus forests, and so the soil and the richness of the soil depended on that protection from the sun and the nutrients that the eucalyptus trees were put in. So the first thing the European settlers did was clear it all. And let me show you. Yeah. Uh, so where are we? I've got my camera on it. There. So that that is really poor soil.
mm-hmm.
And it's poor soil because it's had for 100 years, it's had no protection. It's had cows compacting it as they walk along. Our soils evolved without hooved animals. We brought hooved animals in. That had a big impact on the actual condition of the soil here. So we've got so many farms now that have quite nutrient poor, quite compacted, quite affected by erosion, wind erosion, and that. So thankfully, there's a change that's been happening over the last 30, 40 years, and certainly quite recently, where regenerative farming is becoming more and more popular, and looking at ways of putting things back into the soil and planting more trees in a way that still allows you to farm. We as overall as a human race, we're cutting down far too many trees and not replacing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see on Netflix that series called is it Little Big Farm? Did you see that one?
I
About
haven't
this,
seen that one. No.
it's a couple that lived in oh, I can't remember which region of California, but they bought this huge swath of land and they were sponsored to farm it, and they had been, professionals, and they kind of left their 9 to 5 jobs and bought this
Yeah.
farm, which was nothing. It was just land. It was raw land. And they got this guy who was an expert in like regenerative and restorative eco farming and all this stuff. Anyways, long story short, 7 years he said it would take to and same thing. It's like they held up their soil and it was just like sand, like just there, it was
Yeah.
dry and no growth, no nutrients, and the soil test was just completely dead, like just dead, dead, dead.
Yep.
And they didn't even know how they were going to do it. And through the it's like an hour and a half, or it's really interesting about how they built up this farm with animals and crops and this and that, and how everything fed into another. Like they had a swallow problem, but then they brought in owls. And anyway, by the end of the 7 year mark, they had this just amazing flourishing oasis that had been just nothing, and it was, healthy
Yeah.
soil, and they had a water reservoir, and just the journey of exactly everything that you've talked about. And it was really quite an interesting. Daz is
Yeah.
here. Ricky says you need to go film some platypus.
I've actually only ever seen a platypus in the wild once, in a creek not far from here. But they're extremely rare in Victoria now because the waterways have all been taken over for irrigation, and there's still pockets of populations around. It just depends, in the more of the remote areas. But they're very hard to
Ricky
find.
needs you to go find one like ASAP.
Uh, I get a visit from the occasional echidna here. We have quite a good population of those around the area here. They're really cool. I've got a video of that on our Sweeney's Creek channel. We
I
had
think
one.
you brought one on my last live, did you not? Or not on my
Uh,
last live, but one of the lives you had.
that was a blue tongue lizard.
Yeah, but didn't you do an echidna too one time, or was that just me remembering your video?
Probably the video. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. I
I
don't
remember
tend
the
to pick
blue
those.
tongue lizard too, for sure.
Yeah.
That you have all sorts of cool stuff. Daz is here. He says hello.
Hey, Daz. Daz got a great. He's just north of me, up in a place called Kahuna, and yeah, it's he's a great bloke. Our Daz um, runs a good channel. I've actually got a native carpet python babysitting at the moment inside the house. A lady took back a rental property, and the previous tenants left this carpet python there in a cage. So I got
Well,
the
if
call
there's
to go
anyone who can
rescue it.
care for it, it's you guys.
So yeah, the Department of Wildlife's coming to collect him at some stage, but I've had him for over 2 weeks now, and he's becoming part of the family. He's really
I
cool.
was gonna say the officer aren't coming too soon.
But he's good. He just sits in his hide. You rarely see him. He only comes out when I put a mouse in front of him. He comes out to have a feed.
So do you have to? How do you get the? Do you just collect your own mice, or what do you? What do you do for that to
Buy them,
feed them?
buy them frozen. So we have a group over here called the RSPCA, or the Royal Society for the Protection of Cruelty to Animals, and they basically frown upon. They haven't like officially banned it, but it's not accepted to do live feeds with if you own a snake here in Australia.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so 99% of snake owners will actually buy frozen rats and mice, and look, they're fine. All you do is you just defrost them, then you sit them in a bag in some warm water just to sort of bring them up to like a body temperature, and the snakes know no difference. You just hold them with your tongs, and you wiggle the snake in the mouse in front, and the snake just goes, oh, bang. Yeah, so they don't know.
Interesting though, isn't it, that you can freeze a mouse, you can kill a mouse and freeze it, and feed it to a snake, but you can't feed it live.
Yeah, look, and the companies that produce the mice, they do have a humane and ethical way of euthanizing the mice. So it's over very, very quickly. So they basically gas them and they go to sleep, and then when they're dead, then they freeze them. So it is a quick and painless death, I suppose. And I suppose what they look at is, feeding it to a snake while it's alive, it's going to be grabbed and suffocated, and it's pretty, for some people, it's pretty gross. But from my point of view, hey, it happens out in nature every day. Yeah, I don't have a problem with live feeds, but if it means I'm going to get in trouble, I'm quite happy to just use frozen mice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Well, and
yeah,
also everything has rules these days, right? Like everything.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, yeah. And rules are there for a reason, and yeah, in this case, as a snake relocator, I'm bound by many regulations, and that's all
yeah.
about protecting the animals and making sure that people do the ethical thing. So, yeah, it's all good.
Critter
It's
Creek
just,
says hello,
hey,
and
the
Ricky
only
says
problem.
snake equals nope, 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 nope.
Oh,
He
we
says
we
nope.
love our snakes. I just love them. They're
He says
yeah,
nope.
and
He says
yeah,
bring him a platypus, not a snake. Nope.
uh, well, when this jungle carpet python gets collected, a friend of mine's going to be giving me a Darwin carpet python, so it's a little bit smaller. So that'll be my first one that I actually own, and yeah, we'll
Oh,
get
and
that.
that'll be yours. Okay.
Yeah. So it's only about 2 foot long at the moment, so it's only a bub. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah, the
think I'm
one.
with Ricky. Nope. I'm gonna leave that to you, to the expert.
They're really cool. You get them out and cuddle them and wrap them around your neck. It's great.
Nope. Nope. Think I'll just cuddle my cows. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I've got a how big's Resi? Resi's about 700 kilos, so it's about 1,400 pound. Got about a 1,400 pound bull in the back there, and he scares me more than snakes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I on purpose don't have a bull. We do AI because I refuse to have a bull. That's for
Yeah. And
sure.
look, he's really good. Like, when you can go up and pat him and that, but you can never trust him. Every now and
Yeah.
then, he just gets that look in his eye, and a couple of times he stamped his feet at me, and he's got a whack in the nose with a bit of poly pipe just to teach him I'm still boss. But really, if he wanted to go me, he could. But he's
Yeah.
pretty good.
He's actually boss, but yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I mean, it would sure make my life easier as far as breeding, but yeah, I have no interest in having a bull. Well, and
Yeah.
especially with the kids, because the kids are like, my oldest goes down to feed the cows, right? So
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
just,
for sure.
we can't do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. All right. Well, I better get back to work before Julianne comes out and says, "What have you been doing?" I'm saying, "I've just been talking to people."
Slacker.
Yeah,
Well, good to
blacker.
visit with you.
Yeah, always. And yeah, look, we're actually climbing up. I think we're about getting close to 780 subs now. So we're just trying to build up, get that magical 1,000 mark. So any members of the channel, thank you very much for your support. And if you're not on our channel, invite you to come over and have a look if you like the content. Yeah, sign up. Um,
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
we've got
I'll,
fairly varied content over there. We do preserving and cooking and gardening and construction and old blokes like me falling over and doing face plants in the dirt and yeah, all sorts of things.
all sorts of good stuff. I'm
Yeah,
posting your link now so that
awesome.
people, either now or on the replay can join you. Here we go.
Yeah, lovely. All right. Well,
Perfect.
I'll depart. Someone else might want to jump up and chew the fat as well.
Good to visit with you.
All right. Oh,
Have a
I've got a
good
snake call
afternoon.
coming in. I've got to go. Bye.
Take care. Oh, that was nice to visit with Steve. Man, what would you give for some 80-degree? Well, I mean, I know Daz is here. Daz is living the 80 degrees. Have a good night, Marshall. Daz, and that would be more extra Burger King you would have to buy. I know. Can you imagine how much Burger King a bowl would have? I'm hoping that Daisy's pregnant. So here's the thing: we do our AI every summer, but with everything that went on with our autumn, Daniel breaking his arm and 22 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. Spring is coming, I know. And then like getting the big C in October and all that stuff, I wasn't able to follow up on if she was pregnant or not. So I just let it go, right? So we'll find out here shortly. If her AI took Daisy's AI, she was the only one we did this year. Well, we did Honey, but you guys know she went to a different farm. She should be given birth in March, so we should be having a calf in March, and then we'll be breeding Daisy and Tulip and Mocha this year, so potentially 3 calves. Fahrenheit, yeah, that's about what it's been here, except that we're in a warm spell. It's been like probably 34 degrees Fahrenheit here today. Yeah, you guys are chillier than us. Wouldn't you love 80 degrees and not this 22-degree business? But you're right. Ricky says spring is coming. Yeah, not long now. I know. So we will see if we get a little calf in March. I think I'm going to do a video probably in the next week when I'm feeling better of the changes the cow undergoes, that you can see if they're pregnant or not, and as they're approaching time to giving birth. So if she is pregnant, I'll be documenting that. It might be a little bit TMI for some people. Yeah, probably not up everyone's alley content wise, but for the people that are I posted a cider video, which is the insert, the progesterone hormonal insert that you insert into a cow a week or two before you do the AI. And that video, I didn't think it would really have any interest, and I know certainly not everybody on this channel is cattle people, but I think it has like 1.3K views or something like that. So I know that there's things that I didn't know when I started out with cows that I wish I would have had information on. And so if it can help somebody out in the YouTube cosmos, then I, mission accomplished. So I'll do a video of kind of trending her, and then if we end up with a calf in March, you'll have known the assessment process up to it. Can't get her into the cattle area to do a physical check until the snow goes. So if I'm lucky, I can do like a physical preg check on her at the end of the month or in early March, but we'll see. If you guys remember Hildegard's video, I swore up and down she was pregnant, and I did the actual physical check, and there was no baby in there. So yeah, I've been fooled before. Good luck with the calf. Thank you. Ricky might hit 40 on Wednesday. There you go. So you have some warmth coming your way. Heather got mild on Thursday. It also rained on Thursday. On Friday, we had a mix of rain and snow, and then it snowed in the evening on Friday. Well, that's a pain in the butt for winter weather, eh? Rain, snow, rain, snow. If it would just stick with one or the other, that would be better, right? Silver Moon Homestead, hello. Happy Sunday. We just got off the video chat with Steve in Australia. He was taking us for a little tour of his place, and we were just talking about like soil conditions, and he made a couple greenhouses out of old trampolines. It was really cool. And then he had some shade cloth on there, and it's just so cool to be able to chat with everybody and see what everyone's up to, isn't it? I have learned so much, and that's given me ideas every week. It feels like I'm getting a new idea. So yeah, you'll have to go back and watch that later. It was just a really interesting, maybe what did we spend with him, like 30-40 minutes? Maybe it wasn't quite that long, 20-30 minutes. Touring his homestead is really cool. You should go back and watch it for sure. Lots of snow, at least 6 inches Ricky has. Yesterday morning, Heather had layers of slush and ice and snow. Yeah. I think my least favorite time of year is coming up here. We're probably about a month out from the slush and mud and then snow and ice phase, and it makes it really hard to get out of the driveway. Oh dear, what a pain in the butt. Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to Steve today about his trampoline. I don't even know how he got so many trampolines. He said that he put an announcement on Facebook Marketplace, but I mean, that's a lot. That was a lot of trampolines. I don't even know if there'd be that many trampolines. I guess, Facebook Marketplace has everything, doesn't it? Okay, bye, Ricky. Have a good night. Good luck with your video editing. Thanks for hopping on for a little bit. It's always good to see you. Summer's still hot where Daz is, so he'd love some of that snow. I know Daz keeps on saying, please send me snow. And I said, it's in the mail. The slush and mud sounds like our winter this year in North Carolina. Yeah, so interestingly, I have a friend on that I've made an acquaintance with over Instagram. Grain of Salt Homestead over there on the big IG. And she lives in North Carolina, and she just discovered that me and Daniel used to live in North Carolina. We lived in the Durham area for 6 years, and our oldest 2 boys were born in Chapel Hill. And yeah, I miss North Carolina. It has a very special place in my heart. We moved away after living there for 6 years. We moved away 6 years ago. We've been back home here for 6 years now, but I really still think of North Carolina so fondly and miss it. And half an hour from Durham. So which way are you? I miss it. I don't think I'd have to live in Durham again, but we spent most of our time in like Raleigh, Chapel Hill. If I had to do it again, I'd move out to like Nightdale, I think, or Smithfield, and get like a piece of land, or out in Boone, and I would get like an acreage in the mountains. But I loved it. I loved it. We would go to the ocean. We'd spend time in Atlantic Beach or Roxborough. Okay. Yep. We lived up in North Durham for a little while, almost to the Roxborough, you know, kind of like the start of the Roxborough exits there for a short time when we moved there. And then when we got our house, it was kind of like more on the Durham Chapel Hill line. But yeah, I miss it. I miss it. North Carolina is a good place to live. Weird weather. I still follow it on my weather app. I keep tabs of the weather. So you've been having ice and mud. I saw that you guys got a snowstorm there a little while ago. This past week, I guess, eh? Or was it 2 weeks ago now? Anyway. Well, I appreciate you guys visiting with me for a little while. I just thought I'd come on and say hi. I know that we've kind of been a little MIA since Christmas. There's been a lot of sickness going around our household in various weeks, and then there hasn't been a lot going on the farm, so there hasn't really been a lot to report. But I did want to check in and just say hi and be present and have you guys update me and me update you. But there's not a lot to update. So just kind of hanging out with Luna and waiting for the cows to calve, and then another month we're going to be starting to go, and we're going to have a lot of info coming on the YouTubes. So stay tuned. About 2 weeks ago, yeah, it's been rain, which turns to ice, and then it gets warm enough to turn to mud. Yeah, that's really gross, isn't it? Super gross weather. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. I know that it's getting late in certain parts, so I'll let you have your evening back and kind of run out of things to say on my end. So we'll cut it off here, but I hope you guys have had a good weekend. And for those of you already living on Monday, happy Monday. Hope you have a good week. And we'll do this again sometime. I'm hoping to get, I will get Leanne from Mennonite Farmhouse Homestead to come. And we'll do another get to know our friends. That's always a good time. I love getting to know you guys. If you want to be a guest on Get to Know Our Friends, shoot me a line. Okay, take care, Daz. And I'd love to get to know you guys better. So get to know your friends, drop me a line, shoot me a message, even as a comment on this live, and we'll get you on here. Okay, have a good week, everybody. Ta-ta for now. Hitting the end button. Bye-bye.